Hello, I'm going to be reading John Henry, the poem. It was written by Anonymous. They did not submit their name. The reason this is my favorite poem is because I can remember as a child in music class, we would listen to The Legend of the Steel Driving Man. It was a song about John Henry. We had a bunch of history songs on a little disc. I don't know where the teacher got it from, but it had songs about John Henry, about Paul Bunyan, people like that. And when I read this poem, it just made me think back to my childhood and listening to that song, which you can find on YouTube. You type in The Legend of the Steel Driving Man, and it'll pop up the John Henry song. Okay, so I'm going to be reading this from Knock at a Star, one of the books from our class. When John Henry was a little tiny baby, sitting on his mama's knee, he picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel, saying, "Hammer's gonna be the death of me. Lord, Lord, hammer's gonna be the death of me." John Henry was a man just 6 feet high, nearly 2.5 feet across his breast. He'd hammer with a 9-pound hammer all day, and he'd never get tired and want to rest. Lord, Lord, he'd never get tired and want to rest. John Henry went up on the mountain, and he looked one eye straight up its side. The mountain was so tall, and John Henry was so small. He laid down his hammer, and he cried. Lord, Lord, he laid down his hammer, and he cried. John Henry said to his captain, "Captain, you go to town. Bring me back a 12-pound hammer, please, and I'll beat that steam drill down. Lord, Lord, I'll beat that steam drill down." The captain said to John Henry, "I believe this mountain's sinking in." But John Henry said, "Captain, just you stand aside. It's nothing but my hammer catching wind. Lord, Lord, it's nothing but my hammer catching wind." John Henry said to his shaker, "Shaker boy, you better start to pray, 'cause if my 12-pound hammer misses this little piece of steel, tomorrow'll be your burying day. Lord, Lord, tomorrow'll be your burying day." John Henry said to his captain, "A man is nothing but a man, but before I let your steam drill beat me down, I'll die with this hammer in my hand. Lord, Lord, I'll die with this hammer in my hand." The man that invented the steam drill, he figured he was mighty high and fine, but John Henry sunk that steel deep down 14 feet, while the steam drill only made 9. Lord, Lord, the steam drill only made 9. John Henry hammered on the right-hand side. Steam drill kept driving on the left. John Henry beat that steam drill down, but he hammered his poor heart to death. Lord, Lord, he hammered his poor heart to death. Well, they carried John Henry down the tunnel, and they laid his body in the sand. Now every woman riding on a C&O train says, "There lies my steel-driving man. Lord, Lord, there lies my steel-driving man." And here's a picture of John Henry.